I'm a hardcore mature gamer. I have a grown man system that I stand beside and I back.
Why, hello everyone. Thank you for tuning in. And I was going to make this video last week, but I got off into some pussy and got distracted. And I am here today now. Now, I have to make a disclaimer before I start this video, and that's very sad that I actually have to do this, but people seem to have it twisted. People seem to, say I'm this and I'm that. Next Gen last week, he was saying that this nigga Resurrection, man, he bad for the culture, man. He bad for the culture. All of this shit. And I just have to make this disclaimer, just in case you all didn't know. I personally want the Xbox to do well. I don't like how things are going right now. I don't like that the PlayStation is outselling the Xbox at a large amount. I don't like that PlayStation is coming out with exclusive after exclusive and the Xbox is coming out with nothing. I don't like it. Because one thing I will say is that when Sony gets in the lead, those motherfuckers get real cocky. And they start doing some real shady shit. And nobody wants a monopoly. All fanboy shit aside on this video, nobody wants a monopoly. I don't like how things are going. I simply don't. But as far as the Xbox goes, I have to say this. No matter what you say, no matter how many exclusives that the PlayStation 4 has this year, all these games that they've come out with, all of this hardware that they have come out with, all of these games that are getting these great reviews, you have to admit that Microsoft has done an amazing job at keeping the conversation about the Xbox Scorpio. Don't get it twisted, people. Microsoft has the momentum right now because they've been able to keep the conversation about the Xbox Scorpio. No matter what PlayStation has thrown out, no matter what they've come out with, it's been about the Xbox Scorpio. Everybody's keeping their eyes on the Scorpio. Do you see what I'm saying? With that being said, when you are the head of a division of a major corporation, when things that you say can be taken any and every way and people are subject to criticize every little thing that you say, when that is you, you might need to shut the fuck up. And I believe that Phil Spencer had a moment last week where he should have had somebody in his team tell him, Phil, you need to shut the fuck up. Now, Phil said this, and I don't do this. I don't even read news articles on my channel, but I feel like I have to do this. And I was going to do this last week, but I wanted to wait to see if Phil was going to clarify his statements. And he really didn't. He just said, we're not ditching single player games, whatever. But he says you'll have games like Zelda Horizon Zero Dawn that'll come out and they'll do really well, but they don't have the same impact that they used to have because the big service-based games are capturing such a large amount of the audience. Now, I don't disagree with this statement. I have no problem with what Phil says right here. What he's pretty much saying is that service-based games, when we're talking about service-based games, we're talking about games like Destiny, Division, even maybe Call of Duty or, Sea of Thieves is going to be one of those type of games. I don't have a problem with what he said. What he's saying pretty much is that those types of games are capturing a larger audience, and they're giving they're giving you more experience because they have a longevity. They have long life to it, if you say, because post-launch, those games get a lot of extra content. The Division, Destiny, Call of Duty, they get a lot of extra content. Now, when you're looking at single player games like Zelda or Horizon or, these big AAA titles, they don't have the legs that these other games have. So I don't have a problem with this statement that Phil said. I actually kind of agree with him in a way, and kind of I don't. But this is not the issue that I have with what Phil said. And this is where the shit got real suspect for me. It went left after I started reading this shit. And the thing is, he could have stopped. If you go look at the transcript, the interviewer wasn't pushing, pulling, prodding, or pumping him. His motherfucker was just speaking. I mean, he had mouth diarrhea. But he said, I've looked at things like Netflix and HBO where great content has been created because their subscription model. Shannon Loftus and I are thinking a lot about, well, could we put story-based games into Xbox Game Pass business model because you have a subscription going? It would mean you wouldn't have to deliver the whole game in 1 month. You could develop and deliver the game as it goes. The storytelling ability in TV today is really high. And I think it's because of this business model. I hope. Now listen, now he said, I hope. He didn't say, it might be a good idea. It might work. I hope. I have faith. Come on, somebody. Amen. Can I get an amen in the back? He said, I hope as an industry, we can think about the same. Might spur new story-based games coming to market because there's a new business model to help support their monetization. Who the fuck asked for this? Seriously, take these goggles off, people. Who the fuck asked for this? Seriously. Think about it. If you go read the article yourself, he tells us up front, he says these type of games, talking about games like Horizon, games like Zelda, he said this shit costs way too much money. He said it, I didn't. He said it cost too much money. So instead of him focusing on those type of games, he wants to focus on a subscription-based model where you and me have to pay as we play. Can I get an amen in the back? He doesn't want to pay for it himself because it costs too much money. But instead, he wants you to pay for it while the game is unfinished. While this game is still in development, he wants you to pay for it. And you mean, and I got people on Twitter telling me, oh, I don't see a big deal with this or anything. I don't see the problem. You know what? Fine. Don't see a problem with it. Be okay with it. But you know what? When his vision comes to fruition, you don't have a right to fucking complain. You don't. But as a gamer, not a gamer of a certain console or a certain piece of plastic, but as a gamer in particular, this cannot happen. Not from Sony, not from Microsoft, not from Nintendo, nobody in their right mind. You know what? I remember back in the day when you got a game and it was done and it was finished and you didn't have to worry about the shit being broke. I remember that. But now all of a sudden it's acceptable. It has become acceptable for them to sell us a game that is not complete and they basically gonna tell you we're gonna finish it on day one with a patch. When did this shit become acceptable? Now they want to have a subscription-based model to where you fund the developers so they can make you a game. I mean, come on, people. All I'm saying is this. I'm not going to lie, Phil has done great things for the Xbox. He has done a remarkable job of turning that tremendously horrible, stinky, funky ass piece of system into something that is actually more and more palatable today. He has done a great job of doing that. But if this is the vision, you think about this. I want you people to go think about this. People like you, Next Gen, go think about this. Kid Smooth, go and think about this. Is this what you really want? Ask yourself, am I damage controlling? Am I damage controlling? Because this is not what we need. And if this is the vision that Xbox has with games like Sea of Thieves, which Sea of Thieves looks great. It looks great. But guess what? And I'll probably get Sea of Thieves. But guess what? If you're looking for some type of story from that motherfucker, you have misguessed. Your guess is inaccurate. There's not going to be a story that is. There's not going to be a story-driven element. That is a game that's going to be one of those always online to play games, I believe. So we need to ask ourselves: is this what we want? Seriously, I don't care. Anybody could have said that. Is this what we want? Do we want to pay to play? So basically, some games that come to Xbox Game Pass, you know what? They might actually be exclusive to Xbox Game Pass. You know what that means? That means if you're not paying for the subscription, well, you might be shit out of luck because you're not funding that game. But it's perfectly acceptable, right? Let me know what you think in the comment section, because I don't think that this is a good vision for the Xbox, for any gaming, any type of gaming. This is not good. This is not good. And if this is the way that it's going to go, Phil's got to go.